The NBA playing games have begun. Let's tell you how the games went yesterday, tell you what we're expecting going forward, and catch you up on everything you need to know. Let's get into it. All right, so yesterday the Wizards and Celtics played along with the Hornets and Pacers. Hornets and Pacers were the 9-10 seed, so if you remember, the winner of that goes on to play the loser of the 7th and 8th seed, and the 7th seed goes and or whoever wins the 7th and 8th seed, they are locked in as the 7th seed in the playoffs. So the games went in this order yesterday. The Pacers Hornets started out. The Pacers basically dominated this game from start to finish. The Hornets just look like a young team with like a lot of energy, and that energy put them out of position like so many times. Like they would go and just be playing like very aggressive defense, and then all of a sudden like someone would just come over and do a random double team that would allow a Pacers guy to be wide open under the basket. Like they looked like they wanted to play good defense and everything, but they just were like all over the place. Like way too much excitement. Not a structured organization yet. But I mean, they made it to the playing game, so good for them. Been a while since they've been in a position like that. But they're eliminated. The Pacers will go on to face the loser of the Celtics and the Wizards. And as you see right here, the Celtics won that game 118-100. The story of that game was definitely Jason Tatum. He had 50 points in the game. The Wizards didn't go away, but because of Jason Tatum, the Celtics were able to get like a 10-point gap, like in the second quarter, maybe early in the third quarter, and then basically hold that throughout the entire game. So that was the real storyline there. Everyone's going to be talking about Jason Tatum today going for 50. The debates all over the place are going to be, is he a superstar or just like an all-star and all that? That's the crap that we don't do on this show. But that's what people are going to be talking about. And the award for winning this playing game is you get locked in against the Brooklyn Nets, who are many people's favorite to win the NBA championship this year. So congrats to the Celtics. That's kind of a crappy prize you get there, but it is what it is. At least they're in the actual playoffs now. And then we have the Pacers and Wizards will match up to see who gets the 8th seed now. So now let's move on to the games today. So that was the Eastern Conference play-in tournament. Let's move over to the Western Conference. We got the Spurs and Grizzlies are the early game today, and then the Warriors-Lakers. I know everyone knows about this game. Everyone's hyped about this game. But let's start over here. The Spurs and Grizzlies, they've matched up 3 times this year. The first time it may have even been the first game of the year. It was like a very, very early in the year. And the Spurs won that one. The last 2 that they've played, and it's been a little while since they've matched up, but the last 2 the Grizzlies have won. I have the Grizzlies winning this. I think the Grizzlies will pull off just because of like Ja and the excitement and everything. I think they have more momentum coming in. The Spurs have lost like their last 4 or 5 games. It definitely hasn't been like their priority. They had their play-in spot and just wanted to hold that, but they weren't trying to like move up because it was like the Warriors had like a 4-game gap on them. So the Warriors and Grizzlies had like a big gap on them. Sorry. But that's what I'm looking at. I have the Grizzlies, but it should be a good game in this. And then we got the Warriors and Lakers today. Now this is interesting. Obviously the Lakers are a better team than the Warriors, but Steph can win anybody one game. He can just go off and win a game if he's having a crazy night, which he tends to have. So it'll be a tough pick here, figuring out who's going to win this. When you're looking at not just this game, but when you're looking at the NBA Finals this year, I go back to, I think it was 2019 when the Raptors won the NBA championship. Nobody could have predicted the Raptors would win that because it would have been very hard to predict that Klay Thompson and Kevin Durant would both get hurt. I think that's what you're looking for when you're picking who's going to win the finals this year is, between the Lakers, the Nets, the 76ers, the Jazz. You look at all of these teams that have had a huge amount of injuries this year, like way more than in years past. You're looking at who can stay healthy. Is James Harden and Kevin Durant, are their injuries going to be with them throughout the playoffs? Will LeBron's injury be with him? And some of AD's problems, will they still be there throughout the playoffs? Will Donovan Mitchell be able to come back after not having played for forever? Like, I think that's whoever you think is the best team, they may not win. Even if you're right and they are the best team, we really have to look at, okay, who is going to stay healthy throughout the playoffs? Obviously, it's always important to stay healthy, but this year there have been way more injuries to big time players near the end of the season than in years past. So that's what I'm looking for, is who stays healthy throughout this. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to pick the Warriors to win tonight. I think that, again, I think the Lakers are a better team than the Warriors. I guess this is more of like a hope. I think it'll be super exciting if the Warriors come out and, drop 50 on them. I live in Utah. I, root for the Jazz and everything. So it would be better, since I think the Lakers are the better team. It would be better for, my state, for the Lakers to win and get the 7th seed. But I'm going to go ahead and pick the Warriors today. And I guess we'll see what happens. I think Steph needs to drop like 45 men in order to beat the Lakers. But guess we'll see. Hopefully everyone stays healthy throughout the playoffs. I'm excited now that the play-in tournament is going, and I'm excited for the playoffs. And you'll find out everything you need to know about what's going on in them right here at the Busy Fan. Thanks for watching.